What's up, guys, and welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K. Ray Knight, here to give you a proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. And today, we are on issue 3 for Kill All Immortals. Oh, y'all just do not understand. It is getting juicy. Okay. Now, as you guys know, my opinion on the situation, I think that Owen Jabari is actually lying. Okay, and like at first I was like, I think that they're doing a little bit too much, but I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's getting kind of weird. So we have Frey, who has gone to this club and she's going to go see Stein, and he's not around the family and he's not expecting her, and he's in this gigantic like club setting. So she thinks that this would be a good time to approach him about the family shaman who is missing. The shaman is needed to translate the pages that they found in the home so that they could find it done. And she has disappeared from her home, and so the person who would know where she is, that she thinks that she can talk to, is Stein. So of course she pulls up on her brother, and she's like, and she's on, she's got an earpiece in so that Owen can listen, and Owen's like, what if he doesn't give you the information that he needs? Okay, cool. I'm going to snatch his phone. I'm going to slit his throat the way that he slit mine. Now, in this club setting, again, she has earpiece so that Owen can listen. And in this club setting, she's talking to her brother Stein, and they're having this pretty intense conversation. And she's just like, you of all people I thought could understand. And she's like, you know what? Our shaman has mysteriously disappeared from her home, and he's like, she has been relocated and is nearby, but is very much protected. And she's like, you've cared about somebody, you've loved someone, like what is going on? He was like, I completely and totally understand where you're coming from, sis. I got you on that. I feel it, but I learned a long time ago, gods don't love anybody. And even more so, like, you're doing all of this, I would not be going against the family for this. Like, this is just like a normal human being, and you're going against the family for somebody fucking normal. And she was like, you started it. Y'all all started it. Y'all came after us first. And he's just, pointing out the fact that killing your brothers is kind of crazy, especially because it's family first. And that's when she's just like, y'all started it, which they did. Slitting her throat at the dinner table, unnecessary. But as they're having a conversation, their father is calling. And so, of course, while she's on the phone with her dad, the guards are clearing people out, okay? And she, of course, notices this because she's very self-aware. So she's on the phone, and he's like, we have somebody undercover at the post, and he's lying. He is still doing the hit piece. And she was like, no, he told me that when he, officially met me and we started, our thing, that he was dropping that whole hit piece on our family to just focus on me. He was like, he is lying, I'm telling you. And she's like, and why would I believe you? And he was like, have I ever been wrong? And so of course he's like, just turn him over and I will fix this for you. And she's like, no. And so the thing just keeps happening. And while she's talking, her brother Stein pulls out a gun and shoots her point blank range in the stomach. And so he's like, stay at the table as long as you wish. It's been paid for. The guards and some armed men are coming in to take her, and she decides to do the warrior paint thing, blood smeared across her face, and she starts fighting all of them, and she's killing a majority of them. And then it ends up like and while Stein is actually leaving, he takes her earpiece and was like, hey Owen, see you soon, and so while she's fighting all of them, a chain with a blade comes flying through and cuts her on her arm, and it's Stein. He's like, you and I never fight. And she's like, and you can stop doing this at any time. You can put your blade down at any point in time, and you can actually help me. And so he's like, nah. And then of course they start fighting, and she tries of course to reason with him again, and it is not working. He pulls out his gun again and starts firing at her, and she gets close to him. And they talk about having, like, being from the same roots, and like, he calls her cold-blooded, and it's just like her dad. Like, he's like, you even sound like father. And she's like, I used to look up to you and think that you were this civil person. You were like the most civil out of all of us, and that you were a straight thinker, and you could get into these like situations and actually use your brain and think. But as it turns out, you are exactly like them. You are exactly like them. And he's like, we come from the same roots, I'm just saying. And she's like, you know what? Yes, we do. And she cuts his head off there in the club. She takes his phone, and then she leaves. So they all leave, or her and Owen leave, and they go to the shaman's house and basically force her. And she's like, all of this has to be paid with like the debt of blood or a sacrifice of somebody. And it could be your life at this point in time if you don't stop what you're doing. Right? So they finally go to where they need to go. I believe it's still in Iceland. And while they're on the plane, Owen's trying to talk to her. She doesn't want to talk. And she brings up the fact, like, she brings up trust and everything. And he's like, do you trust me? And she's just kind of pushing it off. And he's like, I promise I'm here to protect you, and saying all the right things while they're on this boat. They actually get a boat, and she gives the guy like $3,000 to keep it off the books. And they're having their conversation there on the boat. And then, of course, when they get to the house, he's like, what is this place? And I believe it was like their original house. And, they start looking, and they come across this room that has a spaceship in it. And this spaceship is revealed to be done. Girl. My thoughts on the situation. You're fucking up, girl. Again, I really think that Owen is playing her. I'm not even joking. Just as it continues on, and just like the things that he says are very, very suspicious, and it's very weird. It's like he keeps, like, even though he says that he's making the piece about her, he keeps trying to make it a piece about the family, and keeps asking, oh, how did your family become this? How did you become that? Like, it's very obvious that he's trying to shift it into a family thing while asking questions about her, and trying to keep her under the impression that this is about her, when it's very clearly not. As she has stated before, her father has people in his pocket. That is 100% believable. I totally get that. However, with that being said, if your father has somebody over there at the post, your father has somebody over there at the post. And that somebody is telling your father the information that he's telling you. It's not that he could even like make it up at this point. Because, and I'm sure that he could, and he knows that you wouldn't believe it, but he has a person. He's telling you that he has a person there. So that means like you should probably be a bit weary. And I think that was a good bit, was telling her that we have somebody over at the post, and he's not giving up the idea of doing the hit piece on the family. He's just changing the narrative to make it seem like he's just not doing the thing on the family, but it is about the family. He's just trying to get it through you. And you keep coming through with all these secrets, and you're giving him the information that he wants. And girl, now so I don't think that this is going to end great for her. And I think at the end of it, she's going to end up having to kill Owen. This is just my thought process here, just based on how this is going. Because if she feels at any point in time that he is playing with her emotions and lying, she's going to kill that man. No ifs, ands, or buts. She is going to kill that man. And this is getting good. But anyway, that is it for this. As always, the artwork is phenomenal and the story is just amazing. So that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office, and I will see you guys for your next checkup.